You can skip this video if you want to waste your time building workflows. But let's be real, it's time consuming and challenging when it comes to connecting apps and CRMs with your Vapi voice agents, especially those apps and CRMs which are not common. After watching this video, you will learn a very powerful yet simple method to connect almost 8,000 plus apps to Vapi via Zapier MCP. Voicerr has one workflow which lets you connect all of these 8,000 apps. Yes, it's one workflow for 8,000 apps. For using Vapi MCP, we need an MCP client, which is why I'll show you the power of this MCP client within Voicerr so that your Vapi voice agent can take actions across all of these 8,000 apps instead of just talking to the customer and ending the conversation there. We need a couple of apps here. Of course, we need Vapi, then we need Voicerr for the workflow which executes the MCP and interacts with these 8,000 plus apps. Then for an example, I'll just show you taking action inside Google Calendar, which is the most important use case. Then we need Zapier MCP, and then we need Google AI Studio. I'll paste in the links for all of these in the description of this video. But to start with, let's log into the Voicerr account. Now Voicerr lets you white label, which is putting your own brand and price on top of your AI voice agents so that you can hide the platforms behind it like Vapi and Retail. You can also make workflows inside Voicerr so that your voice AI agent can take actions. It asks for your business name. For this example, I'll write it as Dong AI and then continue. It will create a portal for you, dongai.site.voicerr.ai, where your clients can log in, see the metrics of the voice assistant, and also see the workflows and connect their own apps inside workflows so that you don't have to ask for the API keys from them. This is just an example email of my client. So this is client of my AI agency. For voice AI provider, I suppose you have an account for Vapi, but if you don't have, please create one. And then once you create an account, you have to click on page E, organization settings, copy the organization ID, paste it here, go back, copy the private API key, go back, paste here, and finish the setup. Here you have your own branded platform where you can customize, put your logo and all, and then your clients can log in inside your platform. Now the goal of this video is to understand how to integrate Vapi AI with 8,000 plus apps. For that, we have to use AI automations inside Voicerr. You can either access it from this section here, or your clients can also log in. When you're creating the email, it should be in all small. Log in, and then your client can go inside the automation lab here. But you as an admin can also access their automations from Voicerr. Skip, new workflow, default, we'll name it as W1. Now first of all, let's add all of the connection. First, let's add the connection for Zapier MCP. Zapier MCP, once you go on this link, click on others inside the client, MCP client, which sits inside Voicerr, inside tools. For this example, we will test with Google Calendar simple appointment booking. And since I know it's going to be appointment booking, the quick add event is the most common tool here. So I'll select the calendar, exact calendar which I have, to increase the accuracy of this automation. Hit save. So now our agent has access to all of these tools. Next step is to copy the MCP server URL for Zapier and then put it inside Voicerr Zapier MCP URL. Hit save, done. And then you have to go inside apps because you also need Google Gemini in order to intelligently take actions on this MCP server. Go inside AI Studio And in your API keys, create an API key first. And once you see a row, click on copy and put in the API keys inside the work. So now we have two connections. One connection for Gemini and the second connection is for the Zapier MCP. Next, you have to import the workflow which is already there inside the library. So it's the Google Calendar Zapier MCP webhook workflow. This is just an example for Google Calendar, but the same workflow can be used across the rest of 8,000 apps inside Zapier. So you have to click on Activate Workflow, Save and Import. We have imported our workflow here. The next thing that we want to import is the agent which will sit inside that workflow. Click on Import. Now we have the agent also imported. The agent uses LLM to take actions intelligently. Then we have to add the connection for Gemini, which we had just added there. For LLM, I would suggest use Gemini Flashlight latest first, because not all of the large language models are good in tool use. We need to make sure that this LLM is quite fast and also accurate for tool use in order to make it work efficiently with Voice AI. So I would suggest not to use any other LLM that comes across your mind. There are only a list of LLMs which are suited well for tool use with a less latency. System prompt, I would suggest to use this system prompt for the example which we will see in this video. Hit done to save, and then we have to add connections inside the list available tools of Zapier. Zapier connection added, save. For execute tool, we have to again add the connection for Zapier, then hit save. Our use case will also access the time. So just select the time zone that you are in. I am in the EU time zone and hit save. That's all. Now we have this agent which uses Zapier MCP to make actions across 8,000 apps inside Zapier. And this agent sits inside the workflow which we had imported. Here you'll see a warning sign because the agent is not connected. But since we had imported the agent, configured it, now it's the time to add this agent inside our workflow, which we had already imported. Now we also import the agent. The last step is to click on the last node and hit save and generate output. You have to do this just once, and you'll never have to do it again for this specific workflow. Then hit save. It's already saved, but just to be sure. Now you have to go inside Vapi, go inside assistants, and I had created a new assistant from blank template, and then I just did two things. I updated the system prompt so that it sends text in natural language to the tool. So I'll paste this system prompt in the description and you can use the same. And in tools, I had added this tool, but you have to first make it and then import. You will not see this option right now. So go on tools, click on create new and click on custom tool. Use the exact same description which you see on the screen, and in parameters, use one parameter with the name instruction with small I. This is all case sensitive. Type string description, same as what you see on the screen. Click on apply, should be required. For getting the server URL, you have to go back inside the workflow, click on the first node, click on copy here, and then you have to paste in the server URL here. And then click save. Your tool has been saved. Now we go back inside assistants, and in tools you'll see the option to add this function tool. So once you add it, click on publish. Now our assistant is ready to schedule appointments in our Google Calendar via Zapier MCP. I can chat with this assistant instead of talking for the sake of this video as it's easier. Now before executing, let me open my Google Calendar, and for 16th there is no booking. Go here again, click on send. This will trigger the workflow inside Voicerr, and that workflow uses an agent to call Zapier MCP and book the appointment in our Google Calendar. So as you can see, it says the appointment for this week 5 p.m. has been scheduled. I'll go back in my calendar and you see for 5 to 6 p.m. there is an appointment booked. I can verify if this was done with Voicer workflow or not. If you go inside executions, refresh, click on open, and you see it was fully executed in 7 seconds. And click on view output. This is what Vapi was saying. The appointment for it with 5 p.m. is booked. And in the conversations, you can also see what the agent did in the background. So the agent just got this instruction from Vapi, then it listed all of the available tools from Zapier, it calculated the current date, and then it did some calculations in parallel, and finally it executed the correct tool to book the appointment. So this is the reason why we had to add the Gemini connection here to take operations intelligently. And all of this was sent back to Vapi after the appointment was booked. So this way, you don't have to create workflows or use any template for different integrations. It's just one template, this specific one, and you can use this workflow and this agent to just alter the instructions here, the system prompt a bit, so that it can work across and take actions on all of the apps inside Zapier. There are so many apps to choose from here. If your client comes up with a request and says, can you integrate this CRM for us? Then you just have to make them add the connection for their CRM inside their Zapier account. And then rest of the steps are almost the same, which I have showed you in the video. So I hope you liked it. And this is going to be game changer. Thanks.